Welcome back to our channel. Hope everyone's having a great day. Just wanted to reach out and kind of go over some good bookkeeping techniques for your business. So, if you don't have a software, I recommend QuickBooks Online. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel. We truly appreciate each and everyone that comes on and views it. Watch it all the way through because it's very beneficial information. Again, my name's Weston with Weston's Tax and Bookkeeping. We are located in Whip City, Missouri. We offer remote bookkeeping, and we can offer taxes all over the world. And so we have taxes from California, Indiana, Illinois, all over. And so please let us know if you have any questions whatsoever. So today we're going to talk kind of a little about here and there on everything. So best software to use, QuickBooks Online. It's more streamlined. It's more connected. Just so let's go ahead and get started. So I am gonna share my screen. Screen 2. And I'm recording this in advance, so hopefully everything will go good. Okay, so here is QuickBooks Online. This is a sample company. In one of my other videos, I went through 1099s over it. And so it's a good way to kind of learn the system and how to do things. So the first thing that when you first open up your QuickBooks, you'll be directed to the dashboard. I don't use the dashboard very often, so but it is a good way to make sure you're completing things the right way. It's also a little shortcut area, so you can click on it and then go straight to it. So you can also click on Business Overview, and this will kind of give you a breakdown of your invoices that are unpaid, your invoices that have been paid in the last 30 days, your total expenses, your profit and loss, shows your net income. It shows your bank accounts over here. And then in the most important part, everyone likes to see is your sales. So, which this one is kind of bad. So this one went from 3,819 all the way down to 0, which it's a sample company. So that's probably why. So if we go to the next tab, which is banking, most of these are going to have tabs underneath them as well. Probably won't have time to go through everyone. So if you look at this, it's just like if you had your bank connected. So if you are just starting out, you would want to link your account, and then you would find your bank here. Once it loads, so you would find your bank here, and then you would put your username and password that you have from your bank. This is not the username and password that you created QuickBooks with. This is the bank info. Once that's done, you would import the transactions, and then they would generate over here. So as you can see, this one has uncategorized transactions all the way down. So these items have not been accepted through the bank, which will throw your bank balance off. So what's in QuickBooks and what's in bank balance normally don't ever match. And the reason being is because how it imports is normally a day late. So you could have $200 on the 26th, but it wouldn't generate until the 27th. So it's always a day late. So if you're looking at it on the 26th, it would probably show 200 less. So if we click on this one, so these are kind of self-explanatory. If you see these Hicks hardware, this is a 228.75. If it's not supposed to be matched to that, you can hit find match and then find other matches. And then you would go through and find those items. So say if it just wants to be connected to a check, and it's actually all of it. It just kind of depends. Then you would just hit save once you found out which items it needs to be moved to. So here, it's kind of just going through each item one at a time and finding what it needs to be connected to. So if we go back up, so a rental, this could be a lot of things. If you're doing your books yourself, you would probably know. So if I was doing your books, I would put A1 rental, and then it would actually be a vendor, not a customer. So, oh no, it's a customer. Sorry. So this is going to be income. So there's a lot of people that will break it down to where it's service income. It kind of just depends on how detailed you want. If I was doing your books, I would probably move it to service and then find out if you would want it to be broken down a little more. I would say the best way would be to, and again, everything like I'm adding will go back to um, normal once I close out. So I've put A1 rental income, and so I'm gonna hit save, and then a good way to collect all these, because as you can see, there's 3. Sometimes there might be a little more, so make sure that you know that you've got everything. Now, what I'm doing here is just making sure the payee gets generated. So I just went ahead and selected them, and then I hit update and select the payee. So a good way, if you know this one is going to come in quite a lot, I would come in here and create a rule. I would put A1 rental equals income. Give me 1 second. I got people reaching out to me. Okay, so income, and then it would be a deposit. The one thing I've seen is, let me go in here. So these are, it looks like that was a refund. So if that happens, we would want to come in here. It looked like it was a deposit, like a it looked like it was a deposit refund. And so we're just going to delete that. And then what we can do is go back to banking. And then we can go back to categorized. And so see, there it is. And we're going to hit undo. So with undoing that put it back into the main for review. So right here, you can see that. And then let me fix that one real fast. We're going to fix this off screen. So we're going in here and we're going to remove this A1 rental as a customer, because we're going to need them as a vendor, not a customer. And so We're gonna allow screen, allow. Okay. So here we are again with the 200. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is come in here and find out which one is the deposit. So this one is a A1 rental. They both say rental. So I'm assuming one of these is going to be maybe this one here because it's the same date. So we're going to start with the 27th one. So we're going to put A1 rental. And we're going to hit save. So this needs to be under equipment rental. So here we go. So you can see that is there. So what we want to make sure we do, and this is a big one, is that there's a few ways to do it. We don't want that 200. We're going to go ahead and add that. So we don't want this 200 to go towards our service because then that increases our income and it's not really income, it's a refund. So most people um, will put it back to where it came from. So equipment rental. You can also go in here and do deposit refund and add. And then we're going to go to expenses. And then I'm not sure. It's going to be a sub account of equipment. So it's right here, job expense. Here we go. And so deposit refund, and then we can hit save and close. Either way is acceptable. If it was an even amount, so if you had a deposit refund, so say if that 1,200 showed up twice for the same date. So you had $1,000 on one date and a 200 on another one. I would recommend moving that to wherever that amount came from. So another item that you can do is I'm going to go back up top and I'm going to hit categorized and I'm going to select undo. And that's going to put it back in the for review. And so you can actually split this up. So if you go to split down here, 1,000 of that was the equipment rental for the backhoe. And then this one would be the deposit. My mouse is giving me trouble. Oh, it's popping up behind it. Some reason it likes to glitch a little sometimes. While that's loading back. Okay, so we're gonna go back here. We're gonna go down. This is probably gonna be your best way to do it. And then equipment rental. And then that was 1,000 and that was 200. And then you can put backhoe, rental, and then backhoe deposit. And so that would split it up, and then I'll show you that report. That way you can see it. So if we go to profit and loss, and we're just going to go all dates because I don't know exactly what the date was. So if we find equipment rental, so right here, we have 1,000 for equipment rental, and then 200 came out, and then 200 came in, making it a 0. So it's like an in and out account. So that would be your best way to do it. If you don't know and you're doing someone else's books, probably best just to add it and then let them tell you later on. I'm gonna grab a drink real fast. Okay. So, pretty much going by this would be how to categorize, and just going down and making sure you hit each one slowly. Um, I am a big one on, if you don't know what it is, don't move it to uncategorized expenses or income, and then ask questions. If I see Amazon, if you don't tell me what Amazon is normally for, I'm going to move it to uncategorized until we have a conversation to go through it. So if you click on savings, pretty much the same thing. If you see this, it is more than likely going to be a transfer. So if we go back here, let's see. Oh man, they don't have a transfer in. Okay, so we're going to do a transfer real fast. Let's see if they have one over here. Because the MasterCard is this. No. So we're going to. So like this one here, I wouldn't know what it is. I know you bought something through Amazon and then it came back. So you had a return. So I would move that to uncategorized income, and then find out what the transaction was for when you first bought it, and then what that transaction was, and then I can put that expense or the deposit, this return, back into that category to zero that out. The reason you do that is so that you don't have overstated expenses or overstated income. So we're going to add a transfer. Let me check this real fast. Okay. So we're going to say, actually, what's the best way to do this? So let's change. I wish they had a. Actually, we're not going to show you that today. So if you have a transfer, so say you pay a credit card. So say you take $800, this one here, and you go and pay down your credit card here. It would come in as an expense over in your checking. So you would want to say, okay, this is a transfer to the MasterCard. Then you would hit record transfer. Then you would come over here, find that $800, and then you would hit find a match. Most of the time, if it's doing pretty good and there's not a lot of other 800s, you can find that match pretty dang easy. So that would be how you would want to do that. I will do another video regarding how to do transfers and how to reconcile a credit card, because that's a big one, and there's a lot of confusions over it. So going down is our sales. You have overview, all sales, invoices, estimates, payment links, customers, and products and services. I'm not going to go into depth in those. If products and services are not set up the correct way, then it will cause, making sure I'm not muted. If products and services are not set up the right way, then it will cause confusion down the road. So that's a big one. You got customer and leads. Um, some of it isn't going to have everything that we um, need to go through. Cash flow doesn't have anything. You would have to start planning. Expenses, which is your expenses, your bills, and vendors. Your vendors are the people you pay. Those aren't not your contractors. Vendors are under 600. Contractors are anyone that gets paid over 600 in a year. That rule changed last year. Under payroll, you have employees, you have contractors, and workman's comp. So you can set up your employees to be set up for auto pay or auto run payroll to where you don't have to worry about it. Same with your contractors, you can set them up to where they can be direct deposit each month as well. Reports, these are where your reports are. Your profit and loss are your main two that people will ask you about. Your profit and loss is the one that you would hand to your tax preparer. I like having the balance sheet too, because then I can make sure everything is all good. Taxes, sales tax, and then your 1099 filings. I did a video the other day over 1099 filings. So if you have questions, make sure you look at that. You can also track your mileage. You would have to have your phone, and then you would download the app using this QR code, or you can add a trip manually. Accounting, this takes you to your chart of accounts and reconciling. I will tell you that a big one that I see with small businesses and big businesses is that they do not reconcile monthly. If you get statements monthly, you should be reconciling your account. This eliminates any duplicate transactions and um, allows you to see if there's any missing transactions. So definitely is a recommendation to reconcile monthly. If you don't get it monthly, you can also reconcile quarterly, because a lot of banks will reconcile quarterly. Um, Also, a reminder: make sure that you're looking at the statement in date. Um, it's not always the last day of the month. So going down, my accountant, this is if you have a bookkeeper, you would put in their email address and then invite them to it. Make sure that you ask them the email address, because they get the wrong, if you send it to the wrong one that isn't attached to their QuickBooks file, they'll have to have two separate ones, and it's kind of a pain in the neck. Capital, that's if you have any capital with QuickBooks Online. Most people don't. Totally up to you. Commerce, kind of Shopify, Amazon, eBay. Your apps, you can connect apps to QuickBooks Online. So, like for example, Square, Shopify. There's a lot of different ones. Stripe, PayPal. Um, PayPal is a very big one. Make sure that you have someone help you set that up, because if you don't, and if you don't connect it to the app, and it's a big mess. And then your insurance is the last one. So that kind of does an overview. Oh, we'll do the top up here. So this is going to be if you're adding a new invoice. As you can see, they labeled it. So customers, you would look down here, vendors, employees, others would be a journal entry, etc. Don't recommend doing a journal entry unless you know a lot about it. So definitely a big one that I have seen is that a lot of people will just do journal entries to fix everything, and then it winds up being an even bigger mess. So this is where you can go back to your practice. If you are a business, you will not have this view. With me, I have my clients listed under there. You will also not be able to see, I don't believe, the accountant tools, because you're not going to be listed out as the accountant. Your settings, this is a big factor. Make sure that when you first sign up with QuickBooks Online, or even if you haven't been with them for a while, make sure your business information here is all correct. If this is not correct, it's going to cause a big downfall in making sure that your chart of accounts and everything is set up right. It goes into a little more detail than that. It goes through usage, it goes through sales, expenses, and time, and advanced. And this is where your chart of accounts and everything would be set up. So another one that I like to look at is, so if you have someone that is other than me being your bookkeeper have access to your books, I like to look at the audit log. And the reason I like to do this is so that I can see when things were changed. So if I go to Craig Carlson, I can say, oh, well, he signed in on the 28th and then signed out. He was only in for 4 minutes. So he wasn't in very long. So did he do anything? I doubt it. So this one for the previous day, he unmatched, he recorded. I mean, he did all kinds of stuff that day. And so this is a very good one that I like to see, because a lot of times people will change things and be like, "Oh, I didn't change that." And so you can go to pretty much whoever your users are. This is what would be here, and then you can change it per that. Um, Other than that, if you have questions, hit me up. Let me know. Again, Weston with Weston's Tax and Bookkeeping out of Webb City, Missouri. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again next time.